Hey, greetings everybody, what's up? It's GleeCon back once more with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Today we're going to continue our in-game lore, no longer canon series because things have changed a little bit, things have been retconned. But with this in-game lore today, we're going to read about the Lethargy of the Orcs. You can find this in a couple spots in both Classic and Retail. Neither of them really that intuitive. You can find it in the Barrens. If if you prefer to be Horde, it's a little easier to get here maybe. But in that little Northwatch Keep, somewhere in the Barrens, kind of down there, it's not like the easiest to get to, but at least it's really low level, and you could, if you were determined, get there. Or if you're Alliance, or you don't mind going after some low-level NPCs, in the Eastvale logging camp, in the kind of little two-story house on the table, you can find it. So we're going to jump into reading that today, the Lethargy of the Orcs. Stay a while and listen. And remember, this is happening in between the expansion to Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, so we're still in that area. When we dropped off the last one with the Grim Batal, the last tribe of Orcs was wiped out, and now they've all been put in internment camps. Months passed, and more Orc prisoners were rounded up and placed within the internment camps. As the camps began to overflow, the Alliance was forced to construct new camps in the plains south of the Alterac Mountains. To properly maintain and supply the growing number of camps, King Tyrannus levied a new tax on the Alliance nations. And those areas are where you're going to kind of see South Shore, but you also see in Alterac some of the former prison camps that are still there that you quest in. This tax, along with increased political tensions over border disputes, created widespread unrest. It seemed that the fragile pact that had forged the human nations together in their darkest hour would break at any given moment. Amidst the political turmoil, many of the camp wardens began to notice an unsettling change come over their Orc captives. The Orcs' efforts to escape from the camps, or even fight amongst themselves, had greatly decreased in frequency over time. The Orcs were becoming increasingly aloof, lethargic, and their fins were drooping. Though it was difficult to believe the Orcs, once held as the most aggressive race ever seen on Azeroth, had completely lost their will to fight. The strange lethargy confounded the Alliance leaders and continued to take its toll on the rapidly weakening Orcs. Some speculated that some strange disease contractable only by Orcs brought about the baffling lethargy, but Archmage Antonidas of Dalaran posed a different hypothesis. Researching what little he could find of Orcish history, Antonidas learned that the Orcs had been under the crippling influence of demonic power for generations. He speculated that the Orcs had been corrupted by these powers even before their first invasion of Azeroth. Clearly, demons had spiked the Orcs' blood, and in turn, the brutes had been granted unnaturally heightened strength, endurance, and aggression. Antonidas theorized that the Orcs' communal lethargy was not actually a disease, but a consequence of racial withdrawal from the volatile warlock magics that had made them fearsome, bloodlusted warriors. Though the symptoms were clear, Antonidas was unable to find a cure for the Orcs' present condition. Then, too, many of his fellow mages, as well as a few notable Alliance leaders, argued that finding a cure for the Orcs would be an imprudent venture. Left to ponder the Orcs' mysterious condition, Antonidas' conclusion was that the Orcs' cure would have to be a spiritual one. A, that's true. B, everything of that was true. Why would you want to, reinvigorate your interned enemy? But there you go, Crank might. He can have some. Yeah, so that's cool. So that was another one. That kind of breaks us down through this. I think we're going to have about a 5-year jump, but still happening between those two things. There'll be a 5-year jump when you... I got nerfed. I decided to help them out, and I got... Anyway, yeah, 5-year jump before we do the next one. And I'll see, yeah, so that's it. We got this one all done. Thanks everybody so much for watching, listening, and tuning in. That's another episode of Lore of Warcraft in the pipe, 5x5. And I'm gonna go ahead